Hello, hello, hello. How are you on this fine Friday afternoon? It's finally Friday. It's 3:02. Thank you for being here. You can be anywhere. You are right here in the locker room. Hey, how has it been today? Something is not right. But please.
That every day is an anniversary of the disappearance from Michael Vaughn for us.
Michael Vaughn has been missing for nearly a year now. This morning, Fruitland Police Department provided an update on the investigation into the disappearance of Michael Vaughn, also known as Monkey. Now, next week marks 1 year since the Fruitland boy went missing. He turned 6 last month. And with the help from the Idaho State Police and the FBI, Fruitland Police believe they have been able to more accurately determine the time that Michael disappeared.
This process is exhaustive and it takes a lot of time, and we believe someone out there will ultimately provide us with some information that'll help us solve this case. It's important to note that as we continue to refine our timeline, we now believe that Michael disappeared in a smaller window of time, and that's probably between the time of 6:40 p.m. and 7 o'clock p.m. on the 27th.
A new partnership with the Homeward Bound program offers additional awareness of Michael's disappearance. The program displays missing persons information on semi-truck trailers traveling across the country, and the reward for Michael's safe return is now more than $52,000. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Fruitland Police Department at 208-642-6006, extension 0. And coming up on Sunday night on our News at 10, News Channel 7's Tristan Lewis talks with Michael's parents about the past year and their hope of bringing Michael home.
When starting a restaurant, K-Tom
I'm here to clear my name.
The people Fruitland Police is now calling a suspect in the abduction of Michael Monkey Vaughn spoke to News 7 Investigates Morgan Romero. Fruitland's police chief told us for the first time Stacy Wandry is a suspect in the little boy's disappearance. His wife Sarah was previously charged with failure to report Michael's death. But that charge was dropped several months later, though she remains a suspect.
I'm back.
Now, along with the Wandras, police labeled 2 men who lived with them, Adrian Lucian and Brandon Shirtliff, suspects who absolutely know what happened to Michael. 5 years old at the time, Michael disappeared from his Fruitland home on Southwest 9th Street on July 27, 2021. In November 2022, we were there as crews searched and excavated the property where those 4 suspects lived, just 2-minute drive from the Vaughn's home. Police said they had credible information from someone living in the Wandra's house that Michael's body was there. Human remains, dogs alerted, but ultimately Michael wasn't found. Police believe Michael was buried in the yard and then moved. Fruitland police sent probable cause to the Payette County prosecutor last summer to be presented.
They're telling the backstory of this. Here comes CJ. They're telling the backstory of this, where then they'll get to talking to Stacy Wondra. Sorry, my bad.
To a grand jury. Police Chief J.D. Huff says a grand jury hasn't convened yet, but they will soon. Although that case centers around the Wandras and their roommates, Stacy tells us he knows nothing about Michael's abduction.
Stacy Wandra, Stacey.
It's been 2 months since Stacy Wandra was released from federal custody, convicted of a gun crime, unrelated to the disappearance of little Michael Vaughn.
And what have you been doing since?
I've been trying to live my life the best way I can.
Stacy agreed to interview with me to, quote, clear his name.
I have no reason to hide anything from anybody. I'm not that type of
hear
person. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything, and I will tell you an honest answer to it.
Were you involved in the disappearance of Michael Vaughn?
No,
Why do police think you were?
I have no idea.
Stacy thinks law enforcement's case may hinge on Adrian Lucien, one of the men living with Stacy and his wife at the time Michael disappeared. One of the men police are calling a suspect.
Any clues or evidence that could point to that, from your knowledge?
No.
Okay.
I would never have thought Sarah or Brendan or Adrian would. Maybe Adrian, but I wouldn't have thought
What's wrong with this?
Sarah or Brendan would have ever done something like this. I was not even home at the night of the disappearance. I know that at that nighttime, Sarah, Brendan, and I had left to Cuna to go recover his tow's vehicle.
Elaborate on that day a little bit more. You said you were working?
You realize
Yeah,
it's
so
the
I
same
did a
job
taxi
I
ride
did.
from Ontario to Boise. I know that I was gone
Okay.
a portion of the day from like 1 p.m. in the afternoon to like about 4. Spent some time with a
Then I
former
couldn't find
coworker
him.
or boss
We're
that
downstairs.
I used to
and
work
took
for.
her
I think I spent
They were laying
maybe an
right here on my
hour,
desk.
hour and a half,
In
and
a
then
sunflower.
had come back home. And the neighborhood was completely solitude. It was quiet.
Stacy claims he, Brandon, and Sarah left their house and headed to Cuna to tow Brandon's car around 5:30 to 6 p.m. on July 27, 2021. Brandon blew a spark plug and couldn't drive it, he says. Fruitland police believe Monkey went missing between
Okay.
6:40 and 7 p.m. that night.
When we got back,
Okay. I've been driving since I was 19 years old. First off, how do you blow a spark plug? Never heard of it. I'm not saying it is that possible. But all you got to do is pop the wire off, get the spark plug wrench, take the spark plug out, put a new spark plug in, and on your way you go. Why do you have to go tow the car? Did this blown spark plug blow the head on the truck? Well, that didn't come out right. I'm sorry. But, I mean, yeah. It just makes no sense.
back, I think about between 9 and 10 o'clock at night, we noticed there was an excessive amount of people out in the community walking around the neighborhood. We had stopped and asked what was going on, and they said that a boy had been abducted or been taken, and it was news to me. It was news to Sarah, what it seemed like, and Brandon. We got home, Brandon and Sarah decided they were going to go look for the boy, and I was in the process of getting the vehicle detached from the truck because it was taking up the whole length of the street pretty much.
Stacy later clarified to me he wasn't initially told Michael was abducted, just that he was missing. And where was Adrian that day?
Adrian and Brandon and Sarah all took a trip to Boise in the morning before I did my taxi ride. It was Adrian wanted to go see his kid.
He claims Adrian stayed in either Boise or Nampa all night.
Is that what they told you, or do you know that to be true for a fact?
I mean, that's just what I'm going based off of. I mean, I was told the same thing that's all over. I wasn't with them.
Human cadaver dogs are highly reliable. Why did police?
Okay, I believe you. That's the first time I've ever heard of it happening. I imagine you have to buy a whole set of spark plug wires to get that one wire, and then you get the spark plug. If you're going to change a spark plug and a wire, you might as well change all of them. So you got 8 spark plugs and 8 wires and coil pack. Yeah. But apparently he got it fixed right after that because he moved off to some other state, California or something. I think he's guilty. I do.
Did police tell you that human cadaver dogs pinged on your property at that home?
They didn't really give an explanation. They just said that the dogs had hit around the property. But I mean, there was nothing. I don't even know how that's even feasible because like I said, I've never even heard of this kid. I've never.
Okay. So he's here to clear his name. But yesterday, just yesterday, we saw a video of police officer's body cam where he was in there telling the police officers, oh, it was right there. It was right there. Or maybe it was over there by the shed. He's telling the police where in the backyard to look because that's where he saw, what's her name, his wife. And oh, okay. Okay. So when he told he said he watched his wife bury the unalived child.
Never seen this kid, never knew anything about him.
Police said that they believe Michael's body was buried there and then moved. Can you think of any time that his body would have been buried there and then moved? Does anything stand out to you?
Not at all. They were saying that he was buried.
He lived 2 streets over. It was like, 4 streets over from the Vaughns.
By the shed. Makes absolutely no sense. There's been no dig marks. There's no trench marks. There's nothing. The ground was a complete grassed area.
Could it have happened when you weren't around and it was potentially covered up?
It could have, very possibly. I just know that I wasn't around for any of it. I have no idea. I would like to know what happened to him.
They did say that they recovered several pieces of evidence at your home and on your property. Do you know what those pieces of evidence were?
Well, it's news to me.
The day after our interview,
He was playing with something.
Stacy gave a YouTuber a new piece of information.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to recollect as best as I can for you.
He, Brandon, and Sarah pulled over to put power steering fluid in.
Yeah. How can you live that close to a child that wanders around and asks people if they want to play and not know the child?
In his car right after they left for Cuna the day Michael was abducted. He says they saw a child playing by himself on the sidewalk down the street around the corner from the Vaughn's home.
The kid that I saw.
Yeah. Was you having a pippy? Do I need to bring you in? I think it's very rude of him to be chewing whatever he's chewing while he's doing that YouTube video. This morning, Bullhorn Betty was chewing her breakfast. She was eating her Well, it looked like she was had chicken fries or something.
Did not depict Michael. I mean, he wasn't like a little kid. You know what I mean? Like he was. That's why I said it didn't concern me at all that he was out and about doing his thing.
Stacy says he doesn't know what's in the probable cause affidavit police sent to prosecutors. The one police say centers around him, Sarah, Adrian, and Brandon.
Do you think police have anything on you or your wife?
I personally know for a fact they don't have anything against me or on me. I have no knowledge. Again, I wasn't even home. I have no knowledge of who this little boy is, his whereabouts, or anything about him.
In his interview with the YouTuber, Stacy said his attorney told him he's no longer a person of interest in Michael's abduction. Chief Huff tells me that's not true. When I called Stacy's attorney to get a straight answer, his attorney told me, quote, "I have no comment at this time," and hung up. I also reached out to Michael's mom, Brandy Neal, to let her know about this interview airing. She was appreciative and said the most important thing in the world is to get Michael home.
I agree. Sorry, I'm getting Facebook messages. I'm not asleep, I promise. Okay. Here is Amanda. Welcome in.
Hello.
So what was your epiphany?
They had a dog.
Who had a dog?
They had a dog.
The Vaughns? Or the Wanderers?
The Stacy.
Stacy Wanderer?
Yeah. And if he was only a couple streets over, what's to say that he didn't think that the dog was playful and the dog wasn't so playful?
Might have been.
And that's why the cadaver dog picked up the scent back there in the yard. And only in that spot.
Yeah, if Michael had gone in the yard to play with the dog at another point, another time.
No, he went to play with the dog and the dog got it.
Oh, you mean the dog? The dog was more vicious than should have been.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. We're on the same page.
Because my two pups will make it look like they are very playful, but once you get up to the fence and you're having a chit chat with the pups, along comes Mama Dog, and she ain't gonna allow that.
Mine are good. If they don't know you, don't walk up to the fence. But if I walk into the backyard with you, you're fine. For the rest of your forever, you're fine. You can go into that backyard because I introduced you to the boys. But if I don't introduce you to the boys, and if they're in their crates and they don't think you're supposed to be in there in my bedroom, you better watch out coming in my bedroom. Because Joker got out to get Butch at 1 o'clock in the morning because he didn't think Butch was supposed to come down the stairs. Joker came out of his crate and Butch is like, "Stop your dog!"
Yep, that's my dogs, and that's why I had that epiphany. And if the cadaver dog only found it once, I mean, and there were that many people at the house, I'm sure they took care of that real quick. And then all of a sudden, all the people that were at the house now are magically going and staying the night in a whole nother city.
Or moved to different states. That shirtless and the African American guy, they're both in different states now. and the police want to talk to Mr. Shirtless.
See, it just seems a little. I don't understand why, because it wasn't just a cadaver dog, it was a human cadaver dog.
Uh-huh. Are there different kinds? I didn't know that.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I assume since they said a human cadaver dog.
I mean, why would you look for something else buried unless you were going to put lawsuit against somebody thinking that they had taken it? Like when our dog Major came up missing, we could have brought a lawsuit against the next door neighbor because his dog killed our dog. He admitted it months later.
I mean, and there's cats and stuff that come up missing, and
Yeah. We blame that on the restaurant people. Okay, I didn't say that. Hey, I said it nicely.
I don't know. That's really just a thought, now that I've thought about it. Like, what if that's what happened and everybody's so ashamed and scared that nobody's actually going to let this family know what happened?
Well, I think Brandy would be more understanding at this point if they said, I'm sorry, our dog got your little boy and we didn't know who he belonged to or what. And then when it came out, we were afraid to say anything.
Because, I mean, why else would they have come to the conclusion of charging her with not reporting?
Yeah.
Why would he have died in her care? Or why would he have died with her and she get charged with not reporting instead of kidnapping?
Right. So she was like in the area looking out the window and saw it happen and didn't do anything about it.
Why would that charge come about unless it was something of that nature? It doesn't make sense to me. Why would she not be charged with abducting or child endangerment or the welfare of a minor, or why was it not reporting?
Right. There's a lot of things that they could have gotten her for, other than I've never heard of being charged for not reporting, but then again I've never heard of anybody not reporting, which that could be what happened to
what happened to the little girl. That's what the woman got charged with the little girl. That was a horrible story. It was a horrible story, and they found her, trigger warning, found her in the trash can with the oil.
Oh, you're talking about Quentin Simon. Yeah, that's when I came into true crime, was during his case. Yeah.
I thought that was a little girl.
No, it was Quentin Simon. No, you're right. Quentin Simon went in the trash can. Yes, it was a little girl. I remember. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name.
It was a little girl, and she was so stuffed in that trash can, and they had piled boxes on top of her, and she had tinfoil wrapped around her head.
I don't know how the grandpa, since she was on grandpa's property, I don't know how the grandpa didn't smell something.
Well, that's what they got charged for, was failure to report.
But then again, if you live out in the country like that, and you smell, like if I smelled a dead animal, I would think the dog's got a mouse or the dog's got a squirrel or something, and that's what I'm smelling in the backyard. It wouldn't arise my attention, but I don't know if human decomposure smells different from animals. Well, I know animals boring, and mice is too. If Edward gets a mice and I don't see him get the mouse, oh my gosh, that smells horrid. But
I can say I have experienced that smell.
Yeah.
That smell is something that will never leave you.
Oh, you mean human?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry for that.
Well, it wasn't anybody that I knew. We lived in an apartment complex.
Oh.
And the neighbor two houses down, it was an elderly, and they had passed away, and everybody started smelling something, and we started reporting it, and sure enough, they did a welfare, and it wasn't pretty.
I would imagine.
That's just something that'll stick with you. And it's, I can't say it's much different than an animal, just amplified. Amplified by like 1,000.
Especially if it was hot, because it was hot down there.
Oh, yeah.
Right, it was hot. And if he started, you would smell that in the whole neighborhood. So he would have to have been moved.
It only took 2 days for us to start noticing a smell in the apartment complex.
Wow, and that was behind closed doors.
Yep, it was 3 days when they finally went and did the welfare, and it was bad.
I know if a deer is on the road or a possum or whatever, trigger warning, if they're laying there very long, they'll swell up because of the body gases. And at some point, that's got to pop. And when that pops, that is horrible. But I don't want to smell that smell.
But that's what I'm wondering is if that wasn't the case or some sort of situation as far as that, because the charges just don't align. What she was being attempted to be charged with.
Yeah. Oh, what was that? Oh, your phone went out. Are you there? She might have dropped out, come back in. Okay, let's go over to this one. She made a good point, though. Yeah, this is the one. Are you back? Okay. So this is another updated post from the Fruitland Police Department on Facebook. This was July 27th of 23. So this was 2 years after Monkey went missing. And it says, the search continues for Michael Joseph Vaughn, now age 7, on the second anniversary of Michael's. It says abduction, but I don't know. The case remains very active. Our work has not stopped. Our ground searches have continued as recent as this month, and we continue the arduous task of filtering through new tips and leads. This investigation is moving into a new phase as investigators have submitted this case along with county prosecutors at 208-642-6096. The community support has been remarkable, along with the unwavering patience with our team. We are committed and our tenacity is steadfast. To date, the Fruitland Police Department has received over 2,000 tips and leads. If someone has or learns of information that can help find Michael, we want that information. We continue to ask that you remain vigilant And please share the poster linked here. And it says tips for the case. And then here is the poster. Can't be found. So there was no poster. I apologize. Yee? I thought you might have heated yourself. But you had a good point there. You really did have a really good point there. Okay. Daybell trial. Latest updates and video. I'm not worried about Daybell. I did see a posting a little while ago that came up and said that the people who are in America posting about the disappearances in Canada can face legal action. I haven't worked on that case at all. Too many people jumped on the bandwagon right away, and I didn't want Sebastian or anybody else, Sebastian Monkey Summer, I didn't want them to be forgotten. So I didn't jump on the bandwagon with the children from Nova Scotia. I do hope they are found safe and secure. I hope they are found. I have my opinion, but I won't voice it, even though I am entitled to it. Okay, let's share screen. This one's interesting. Police are testing for DNA in case of missing boy Michael Vaughn. Allegra Garcia is back in the United States to face charges of helping traffic thousands of immigrants. Wow. Police are testing for DNA in the case of missing boy Michael Vaughn, January 2023. This is the poster. Listen to the article now. Now, earlier it had a commercial in front of it, so if it does, I can't stop it.
This audio story is brought to you by your neighbors at the Bank of Commerce, where we work hard to be your bank of a lifetime, with decisions made locally and active support to the communities we serve. Come on by and experience the BFC difference. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Police are testing for DNA in case of missing boy Michael Vaughn. Fruitland TV, Fruitland police say they have recovered several pieces of evidence and are testing for DNA evidence. Police say they have sent the evidence to a private DNA lab, and the results could take some time. In November, investigators dug up the backyard of a home in Fruitland and arrested Sarah Wondra for failure to report the death of Michael Vaughn. After searching the backyard and the home, police said they found no human remains, but believe Michael was possibly killed, buried, and later relocated. Officers are also following up on new information received as a result of their last press conference, where Fruitland police identified 3 other people who lived at the home during the time of Michael's disappearance. Police have since talked with all 3 of them, which includes Sarah's husband, Stacy Wondra, who is currently in the Washington County Jail on charges of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Sarah Wondra is expected back in court next month, as she has been in custody of the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare to restore competency before having a preliminary hearing. No other charges have been filed in the case so far. If you have any information on the case, call Fruitland Police at 208-452-3110.
Okay, that's what was right there. She just read it for me. The shows they got a $52,000 reward out for him. You gonna quit bumping around? That's what I thought you said. Since we looked at those shoes online yesterday on my cell phone, the ads for those shoes pop up everywhere. Everywhere. But I love those shoes. I mean, I love my barefoot hikers. Just love them. Love them, love them, love them, love them. All right. This says Michael Vaughn's mother says she's still confident in law enforcement after charges are dropped. Brandy Neal told KTBB she knows. Welcome in, please. Oh, we got 4 people in here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. We are on day 3, almost finishing up with the deep search. Mike Monkey's been gone 2 years at this point. I'm sorry. Butch's computer downstairs, the Apple, when I first turn it on, anything, I don't know, I have to turn this little thing off. But every time I say something, Butch was telling me, type in such and such, such and such, such and such. Okay. We were on speakerphone. I don't know why the computer didn't pick up what he said, but when I repeated it back to him, it typed it in all wicked weird, and because I was typing what he was saying, and what I said come first, what I typed come second, what I said come third. I'm like, hey, you got to get this voice thing off of here. But he likes to use talk to text. Brandy Neal told KTVB she knows police are steadfast in their investigation and will bring justice for Michael. Looks so happy. There's a video, Summers. There it is. I don't know how to turn this one over here off. So let's play this. Go full screen.
Coming to Maximum Outdoor Equipment. Take a Walker mower for a test drive today.
Everyone should give their dog Fresh Pet. They're part of our family, so they deserve a quality meal too.
So you just got off the press conference. Can you tell me a little bit about how you're feeling?
I guess it is full screen.
And what type of information that they released,
I can't hear it.
And how the investigation is going in your perspective.
I know there's a lot of stuff that they're working on that is
Let me back up
new
and
stuff.
hear what the.
So you just got off the press conference. Can you tell me a little bit about how you're feeling about how it went and what type of information that they released, and how the investigation is going in your perspective?
I know there's a lot of stuff that they're working on that is new stuff that made me very hopeful that I'm not going to go into. But we both know that they're working tirelessly. So I always feel good when coming out of there. They work very hard.
And when you say hopeful, can you kind of explain what that means to you, with these new leads, but you know what they're looking into?
We both tried to stay hopeful through the whole thing, but the things that they're working on make me hopeful that we'll have answers eventually, and he'll come home.
He's coming home, and they're not going to give up.
So with
That baby was
with the update that
in a crib when the monkey twist.
area again. Do you know, do you know kind of if they're looking at like people that you guys know, or is it really just general, or is there anything you can speak to on that, or but
We don't really know anything other than
There's nothing
persons
that
of
we can
interest.
speak on that matter, and they're looking into every lead in persons of interest. We don't know those, and what I can say is that.
So I wonder if law enforcement is looking at, say, in this case, if they were looking at me as a suspect and they were wanting to question me and all this stuff, and I'm not under arrest yet, but they just think I'm a suspect, would they tell the family that they think I'm a suspect, because they did with the Wanderers, but would they tell them they thought I was a suspect, or would they, in a roundabout way, protect me by not telling the family so that the family couldn't come after me when I wasn't being interrogated? I don't know. I know if it was my child that was missing and they had somebody they suspected, I would want to know who it was. But I wouldn't want to go confront them, because if they were brazen enough to take my child off the street, what would they do to me? You know?
They're doing everything they possibly can. Everything they possibly can to find Michael. So
is it, so Huck said, well, I mean, the family hasn't been cleared, but they've been cooperative. I mean, do you have any comment on that? Like, some people speculate that, because the family hasn't been cleared, that they're guilty or they're this. But I mean, what do you guys take away from that? Because obviously...
Okay, I can answer that question. Actually, Seth Rogers, who is a deputy for the county where Nashville's at, Seth Rogers said that even though the whole world knows that Seth is safe or cleared, innocent, I'm sorry, I couldn't get the word out, because he had a rock solid alibi. He was at work that night. So Seth could be cleared, but because it is an ongoing investigation, all parents cannot be cleared. None of the parents can be cleared until they have proof that they can say definitely it is this person. This is the one we're going to, we're gonna interrogate here. But they can't be cleared until the police know for a fact who did what.
Obviously, it can be hard to clear somebody, just because everything is so outstanding. I kind of wondering, Tyler, what do you think about that?
I think they're doing everything they can to find Michael, and like you said, it's extremely hard to be 100% on anybody. So we're just taking it as it goes, and I'm sure eventually we'll get there.
Have you guys been told otherwise? Because I know there's been rumors circulating around just online and even just around the community. Have you guys been told otherwise about being cleared?
I don't know what happened there.
Come into Maximum Outdoor Equipment and take a Walker mower for a test drive today.
So, we just got off...
Just two people to help clear your name a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that's looked into the timeline, I feel like, there was no time for me to do anything. Not to mention, I didn't leave the neighborhood besides in a cop car for 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, there's thousands of people everywhere. I mean, there's nothing that I could have done. I mean, I don't know how some people don't see that, but.
Talk to me about your relationship with Michael.
Yeah.
What was he like to you?
Is. Sir, is.
What is he like to you?
He's my best little buddy. You know.
I like that. The deception detective goes on speech analysis, and he's trained in that. He's a good. If you haven't watched Deception Detective, yeah. But anyway, when the person asking the question was asking what was Michael like, Brandy pops in, is, sir, is. She doesn't want anybody talking about Michael in the past tense. To me, that says innocent person. Right there, it says innocent person. The way Tyler went ahead and answered the question kind of leaves me on the fence a little bit.
Comic books, monster trucks. He's the sweetest little boy in the world. He was always trying to help.
Oh.
He's perfect with his sister. They have an amazing relationship.
Now, the sister was only 12 or 14 months old at the time. So they didn't have a whole lot of a relationship because at 14 months old, there's not a whole lot they can do. But if they can sit up by this time, then they can roll the ball back and forth or something. They might. But he might just go over and give her hugs and kisses and what toddlers do.
Both his sisters. He's a wonderful, wonderful little boy, and he doesn't deserve this.
I bet there's a clip somewhere of Katie Proudfoot saying the exact same words. He doesn't deserve this.
Buggy, after it's been this long, I mean, how do you explain to such a small child what's going on? And I know that's really hard to answer, but I mean, how do you tell her?
We can't say when our older two go to their dads that they're bye-bye right now, because that's the only thing that I could figure. I for 2 months I didn't know what to tell her, and she had just really started talking at that point, and so we don't say bye-bye because Monkey is just bye-bye right now, and he's coming home. He'll be home. He's just bye right now. So.
Does she ask where he is?
She'll pick up his pictures and give him kisses. Set him up in front of the coffee table and watch TV with him.
That doesn't make sense.
She pulls out his Batman cape and
She seems like a very headstrong little girl.
oh yeah.
I wonder where she gets that from.
I don't know where she gets that from.
Looking back, as we approach 1 year mark, what do you, besides finding Michael, bringing him home, what would you like to see law enforcement? What would you like to see the community? What would you like to see the world continue to do?
Keep his face out there. Don't let the story go away.
Bring him home.
Bring him home.
And
Hope that, somebody finally sees one of these, or somebody finally gets the courage to come forward and give that tip that leads us to him, or maybe the person that has him, drop him off at a hospital or a police station or whatever. Just let him come back home.
You mentioned hope.
the strength with law enforcement and our community members and our family. All of us standing strong, that none of us are going to stop. Not a single one of us will stop. Michael is going to come home, and we're going to do the best we can to help others as well.
Does it feel like it's been a year?
It was a very quick year.
Feels like it's been
And long year at the same time. Like time is a
It
weird
can't be
thing.
a year. It can't be.
How do you go through every day without him being found? I mean, it's been a year. What does your day-to-day look like? I mean, just...
Every day is a struggle. It's kind of how we do it is day to day. I don't want to get out of bed every day. But we do it. We do it, and we try to keep our stuff together.
Try.
And just get through every day. Hoping every day gets us closer to being whole again.
Take your corn yield to new records with Veltima fungicide. Out-yield other fungicides by an
You can open that and find out.
More options means even more affordable ideas for your bathroom from Floor & Decor.
Everyone should give their dog Fresh Pet. They're part of our family, so they deserve a quality meal too.
So...
At their discretion, instead of wait. Bugs. There are... I want to help wherever I can. And our whole family does.
We got the monkeys law out there, and there's at least one more big one that other states have that Idaho does not, that I would like to see implemented here, that I think would have been a huge tool at the beginning of this.
And
So
when you say big warn, like an alert is what you're referring to?
not an alert. I don't even know how much I can go into it, but there's. It has to do with warrants. Like in some other states, they wouldn't have had to do the warrants. They would have just gotten the information they needed.
Procedures for law enforcement
Right
to be
off
able to utilize the tools that they needed at their discretion, instead of waiting, having to write up a warrant and
Wait 6 months
for a judge and
a handful of information when there's 20, 30, 40 handfuls of information that they need, but they can only get so much at a time, and they have to wait for the warrants to come through for all that. And so
So this process has been pretty long
Yes,
for you guys.
yes, and there's a law that could be changed that would have made that part of it a lot shorter.
In my opinion, and I'm entitled, you can trash it. That's for art. And he's not going to do anything with it. Because everything of Grandpa's was taken care of. He didn't owe anybody anything. We made sure of that. So anyway, my opinion, if a child is under the age of 8, I don't care what state they're in, there should be an Amber Alert put out instantly because it can be removed just as fast as it was put in. But everybody needs to be on the lookout right that minute for that child. And then if the child's found, then yay, we're happy. We can remove the Amber Alert. That's just my opinion. I think it should be a law that is under the age of 8. There shouldn't have to be circumstances. There shouldn't have to be circumstances. There should be an Amber Alert. Everybody should be looking for that child. I'm sorry.
You mentioned this back in December when we spoke, talking about who do you turn to at times like this? What kind of support groups are out there? Nobody knows what you guys are going through besides you guys.
Everyone should give their dog fresh pet. They're part of our family, so they deserve a quality meal too.
Waiting on products wastes time and costs you money. Grainger has what you need when you need it. Visit one of over 250.
You mentioned that it doesn't get easier. Some days you just want to stay in bed all day. Have you guys found more support just in this past 6 months since we last spoke?
Brandy's been pretty heavily in counseling since the beginning. I'm in a peer group through the John Walsh Foundation.
I help them to have foundation.
So I speak with another lady every week about, and she's been through a very similar situation. So it's that's helped me.
We've
I
also,
tried the
with a few other foundations.
Yeah.
They've been very helpful. Kane and Melissa.
The Karen Harmon Foundation has been extremely helpful.
I mean, not maybe necessarily the.
We're about to be on the anniversary of Morgan Nick, and they're still getting information from the DNA. Another thing should be an Amber Alert automatically until there's definitely an explanation. That's right. That's gone as far as we have a Morgan Nick Foundation for children who are missing and lost. So, I mean, it needs to be brought fast, quick. Get it out there. I got an alert today while I was making a video that'll come out Sunday. I was inside Salvation Army and I was thrifting, and an alert came across on my phone that said a child had been accidentally unalived in a school parking lot when another driver made a mistake. And it came right across my phone, and I read it right there on my live. So I wasn't live, but I read it on the video. And I get alerts like that often. I have signed up for every kind of alert there is. I sign up to all the news media. Sorry about this. I want to know. I want to know what's happening. I want to be able to help.
More options means even more affordable ideas for your bathroom from Floor & Decor.
Everyone should give their dog Fresh Pet. They're part of our family, so they deserve a quality
Any way
meal
I can
too.
get the word out. I want to be able to get the word out right now.
Try.
And just get through every day. Hoping every day gets us closer to being whole again.
I'm not sure how familiar you were with law enforcement and just how this whole system works before. Do you guys read, study other missing children's cases? And do you compare Michael's to other missing children's cases? Do you see timelines? And is there anything you've learned or obtained just in this last year that's kept you going? Or is there any cases that are similar to Michael's that you've seen success?
Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, Summer Moon Utah Wells. Yeah, we got cases similar.
Yes. I have. You know, it's very hard, right?
I stay off of the social media.
I can understand that. I
There
can't
have been
because several people, many people blame him. And they're thinking along that because he says, how could I have done anything in that 20 minutes time when I noticed him missing and I met up with the police or whatever. What happened before that 20 minutes time when you were changing the baby's diaper and calling in supper? What happened before when you say that you were playing video games and you say that the older brother and sister were in the house, but then later it was said that the older brother and sister were gone visiting their dad? So which one is it? The older brother and sister have never been questioned, to the best of my knowledge. What did you do with Monkey prior to going to check on the baby? That's my question. I'm not blaming, I'm just asking.
a lot of cases that have brought hope, and I continue to share those. And
Breaking news. A teen runaway found dismembered in remote area. Previously told police she didn't want them to bring her home. Prayers for that runaway and her family. 14 years old. I don't know how. I don't think she dismembered herself. Amanda Panda says, in my opinion, it couldn't have been anything considering Monkey was outside knocking on people's doors. You got a point. You got a point. He could not have done anything with Monkey out knocking unless he realized that he was gone and went and picked him up and was scolding him and scolded him a little, shook him, saying, you can't be doing that. You scared me to death. And Michael ended up with shaken baby syndrome. Bye. Bye. Have a good night. Okay. Okay. Good luck. So he's off to work. So I mean, if he went and got Monkey, and brought him home, and scolded him just a little too hard, and then got scared after he hurt Monkey, couldn't have happened in the timeline. But we don't know what. Does it say what time? Did we hear what time Monkey was knocking on doors? At 5:30, 5:45, and then he went to change the baby's diaper. From the time he was reported knocking on doors to the time Dad reported, I don't think he could have had that opportunity. Okay, I could have my times mistaken, which is possible. Anything's possible. Yeah, there really isn't time. I have to think on this one a minute. 6:45, knocking on doors. Okay. So, yeah, he couldn't have. Not if they called the police at 7:02.
Oh, you're taking over this interview now, huh?
All right, Amanda Panda says from what she remembers, the first person said that he was knocking on the door at 6:45. Okay. So he was alive and well at 6:45. He was missing at 7:04. Dad was in changing the diaper at 6:40 to 7. I don't know what is wrong with this channel. It keeps going back to the.
Come into Maximum Outdoor Equipment and take a Walker mower for a test drive today.
The industrial grade products you need, delivered fast.
Thanks. There are. I want to help wherever I can. And our whole family does.
We got the Monkeys Law out there, and there's.
Yeah, he did also order something.
There's at least one more big one that other states have that Idaho does not, that I would like to see implemented here, that I think would have been a huge tool at the beginning of this.
And
So
when you say big one, like an alert is what you're thinking?
not an alert. I don't even know how much I can go into it, but there's. It has to do with warrants. Like in some other states, they wouldn't have had to do the warrants. They would have just gotten the information they needed.
Procedures for law enforcement
Right
to be
off.
able to utilize the tools that they needed at their discretion, instead of waiting, having to write up a warrant and
Wait 6 months
for a judge and
a handful of information when there's 20, 30, 40 handfuls of information that they need, but they can only get so much at a time, and they have to wait for the warrants to come through for all that. And so
this process has been pretty long.
Yes, and
So they're wanting something to be done for warrants to be expedited in a more timely fashion. I can understand that. because it takes a judge about 5 seconds to sign his name on that piece of paper. Why would he have to wait 4 months or 6 months and let a counsel tell him what they think? I agree with the family.
There's a law that could be changed that would have made that part of it a lot shorter.
You mentioned this back in December when we spoke, talking about who you turn to at times like this. What kind of support groups are out there? Nobody knows what you guys are going through besides you guys.
Everyone should give their dog Freshpet. They're part of our family, so they deserve a quality meal too.
So, sorry.
You mentioned that it doesn't get easier. Some days you just want to stay in bed all day. Have you guys found more support just in this past 6 months since we last spoke?
Brandy's been pretty heavy in counseling since the beginning. I'm in a peer group through the John Walsh Foundation.
I help them to have foundation.
So I speak with another lady every week about, and she's been through a very similar situation. So it's that's helped me.
We've
I
also,
tried the
with a few other foundations.
Yeah.
They've been very helpful.
He got on Charlie's list yesterday.
The Karen Harmon Foundation has been extremely helpful.
And then there's the foundation that put Monty's name on the side of a semi truck.
Same situation, but can you sit down?
Yeah, she has at the 6 foot mark of every child that goes. Their pastor should be plastered on the side of the semi truck. Because it don't take a few days to repaint for another child.
Faith or beliefs or just a gut feeling? I mean, where does hope come from within you?
Hearts. We just know we can't give up, and so we have to have hope. And as hard as that is sometimes to hold, we have each other, we have family, and we maintain that hope that he's coming home.
Are you back?
Yeah, I know he still like it.
On my last question, at the press conference today, Chief Huff said that there have been some people that are uncooperative. When you heard that, was that new information to you? Is that something that you guys have heard before? What kind of feeling do you get?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Everyone should give their dog Freshpet. They're part of our family, so they deserve a quality meal too.
Sorry. That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Their address is 111.
Yeah, but that's...
Or they know, and
What is that like? You guys have to kind of keep a close eye on a lot of stuff.
Everything.
Yeah. I mean, just
we've only had one bad scenario, but we do have to deal with stuff like that on
Law
almost
enforcement
the
was
daily.
right here in a minute, so less than a minute.
Was it just someone harassing you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a private press conference when we did it inside the
In
City
November.
Hall. Somebody followed us home from that press conference, and it turned into a
Not a great scenario. So.
Well, I don't know why it just does that.
Everyone should give their dog Freshpet. They're part of our family, so they deserve a quality meal too.
Come into Maximum Outdoor Equipment and take a Walker mower for a test drive today.
So we just got off.
I think we're over here.
This is the story of the one. The one knows the unexpected can put everything on the line. But
Can you sit down?
Almost
Enforcement
the
was
daily.
right here in a minute, so less than a minute.
Was it just someone harassing you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a private press conference when we did it inside the
In
city
November.
hall. Somebody followed us home from that press conference, and it turned into a.
Not a great scenario. So,
But yeah, back to my other question.
Sorry.
Just you said that some people have been cooperative. What kind of feeling did you guys get? What's going through your mind?
why would you not cooperate? Why? Like, it's been almost a year, and you have watched us walk every inch of this town every day. We work locally. Why? You see us. You see us every day. You see our family. You see our children that are heartbroken. All of us are heartbroken. Why wouldn't you be?
It's a missing child. Why wouldn't you?
And are these people that law enforcement has made you aware of, or is it just they've kept it kind of under wraps, like specific people?
That's to their discretion.
Does that? I guess there's part of you that's like, I want to know every part of this case. I want to know every piece of information. But also law enforcement not giving you every single piece of information. Does that give you a good sense that they're doing what they know is right?
Yes.
I personally have kind of left everything up to them. You know, I'll report stuff that comes to me.
It's like in the Sebastian Rogers case. The information they're not giving out is the information they're using to build a case against the people that they're suspicious of. That's what I understand.
Of course, when it should have gone there in the first place. But I would say at the beginning of it, we were both very like, we want to know everything. And then
what?
There was. And there are certain things that that happened that changed my mind really fast about wanting to know everything. You know, there's some not very nice people in this world, and we have learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Can you go inside?
Time. Is there anything you guys
We'll climb in a second, okay?
before we wrap up?
Papa will help you climb.
Papa,
The attention is immediately diverted. Yeah,
You look fun.
Just want to say before we go.
We appreciate the police department and all the agencies involved for keeping doing what they were doing. We appreciate Tristan. He's been very good about keeping the story out there, and we want our baby home.
Please. If somebody knows something, please. Use your strength, use your courage. Please come forward. Michael deserves to be home with us and our family. His baby sister needs him. His big sister, his big brother, all of us, we all need him. He needs to come home and climb trees with his big little sister. So, please, if please, we are begging as a family, as a whole, as a community, as the world, we're begging, please, have your strength and courage to give us something to bring Michael home. And Monkey, we love you. And we miss you.
No.
What is that?
If we were to get into Michael's head a little bit, would he have
What's that?
known
What's that?
if he was taken?
What's
Would
that?
he have known that
Whistle.
he shouldn't be going with these people?
Whistle. Whistle. Whistle.
And would he try to contact these
Whistle. Whistle. Whistle.
You gotta go play with the whistle in the backyard.
He knows where he lives.
Whoa.
He
What's
knows
that?
what city, what state he lives in.
What's that?
He knows
that?
that
Whistle.
You gotta play with the whistle in the backyard.
Mommy's name. Mommy's real name.
Yeah. Okay.
Go with Papa and play with the whistle in the backyard.
We were working on phone
Go
numbers
with Papa, play with the whistle.
and the address, but he does know where he's supposed to be.
Do you think he would have
Go play with Papa.
screamed out or yelled out, or if it was someone he didn't know, or that sort of thing?
I believe he would have.
What have they done?
Yeah, the police officers are amazing.
Yeah, we appreciate this.
We haven't stopped every day.
Okay, that was hard to get through because of technical difficulties. I don't know why it didn't do that. But I agree. Okay, I think there should be an alert that goes out. Whether it doesn't even have to be an Amber Alert, just a missing child alert that is broadcast, so it comes on my phone. No matter what state the child is in, I want to know so I can watch in my state, or so I can look up more information about the child. Because if I know somebody that lives in that state, I can call that person and I can say, hey, this person's missing, and did you get the alert on your phone? See what you can do to help find them. That's what it needs to be. Hey, on another note, the video will come out Sunday. But today, okay, I found this at a flea market. It's a swan glass vase. It's L.E. Smith. Very beautiful. Let me turn this music off. Very beautiful red amberina glass. It's full of cadmium and manganese. And whoops, you can't see. Look at this. Let me turn this light up. See how that glows? I bought it and it sold before I even got out of El Dorado. And then I asked Amanda Panda if one of her girls is this size. And she said, I'm looking for that same dress to make a fairy. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the sparklies? And it's blue here and green here and green here. Very, very, very pretty. So I got that for Amanda Panda because she asked for it. Oh, I found out. I got this at Walmart because my husband gets neck pains and knee pains, and it was on clearance at Walmart. So I thought, okay, I'll get that for Butch because it's like NyQuil. He could take that at night. Then I was reading right there. It says 10% alcohol, which means he can't even have it in his 18-wheeler. I said, oh, you can't take that. So I had to bring it home. I got the Little Mermaid salt and pepper shakers. They look like faces. They're mermaid tails. Salt and pepper shakers. So I think they're cute. And then, not that I don't already have salt and pepper shakers over here. Look at these. They got their stuffers. Cute little Dalmatians. Cute little bow ties. Right. You have to check your medications. Well, also because you're sober for 2 years. You're 2 years sober, so you don't want to break that cleanliness, I should say. I'm not a weirdo who likes to dress like a kid. I got a Renaissance festival, and that would make a perfect shell for a fairy costume. You're very right. So no matter how bad you hurt, I won't give you any pain quill if you're with me. Look at these. They remind me of, is that, I have a picture made of it. I can't remember the name, but it's a poor picture that's painted like this, and they remind me of that. But they're very, very cute. Salt and pepper. Then I have a friend whose teenage daughters like to work with beads and make bracelets and all sorts of stuff. And I found this for $4 that they can use the beads out of. And at the same store, I found all these little bags of beads. Like these look like little crystal rocks. They're like little flowers or something. These are very pretty, kind of a bluish. These are just 2 packs of just silver beads. And then these are sparkly, sparkly blue beads. These are just oblong beads. This is the elastic thread for making bracelets, with stretch bracelets. Got that. And then these kind of beads. And then I got these special needles, sewing needles, for threading the beads, even those little bitty teeny tiny beads for threading the beads. And they've got some, the little holes in them, I don't know if you can see them. The holes are so tiny in there. That must have been what God was saying when he was talking about threading the needle with the camel. Then I bought this because every time I go to a friend of mine's house, I got to sew something. So I carry that with me. But I got that for my friend, her daughters. And that was the extent of my trip to the Salvation Army. And personally, Amanda Panda, I can't wait to see that fairy costume when you get it made. I think it's going to be so pretty. Those are large, and that's exactly why I check all my noses. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, because there are certain things that you can't have and everything. And I don't do alcohol, and I won't give it to CJ. So, I don't know. My son-in-law, he doesn't have any problem with alcohol. Not Amanda Panda's husband, but my other son-in-law. Amanda Panda's second sister down. Would be if we went by it would be child number 3 out of 6. Wait, 4 out of 6. Because we got the first one, the son, then Amanda Panda, then she's got a little sister, and then Butch has a daughter, and then Butch has another daughter, and then we have CJ. So there's it would be this one's husband. Yeah, but you're not almost 18. And I don't want to start something that doesn't need to be started. So, yeah, the things that we had when we were kids, they were just fine. I mean, I could remember when I was little, Mom was telling me rub some whiskey, bourbon, something. I don't remember what, rum or something on my kid's mouth. And my first husband's mom used to put Kahlua in my son's bottles to help him sleep at night. Boy, I got mad about that one. Right. But he don't like to take medicine, so he don't. I can't donate it to Goodwill. They can't sell it. Might sell it at a yard sale or something. Just to get my money back. But yeah, okay. So that's all I've got for today. I'm looking up missing persons. I've got Grok did a extensive search today, and I mean it took like over half an hour for Grok to get that search done today. So I can't wait to read through that and see what's going on with that. And I'm going to come back tomorrow at 3 with more information, if I can find more information on Monkey Vaughn, because I don't like the fact that I have information from this year and I'm working on this year, and then all of a sudden I jump back to this year or I jump up to that year. I'm trying to keep it all within the same year and timeline to keep it going straight, because to me it's confusing to jump back and jump up and jump back and jump up. But I'm glad Amanda Panda remembered them saying it was like 6:45 when Monkey was out knocking on doors, And then I remember, and I'm sure Amanda did too, that they said that the police were called at 7:04. So, yeah, so in that 17 minutes time, you couldn't have done much. Couldn't have done much. And unless, we're not even going to go there. Because they wouldn't, with Brandy just getting the job, and only this being her first week on the job, they wouldn't have paid neighbors to say something like that. Nah, I don't think so. It's not even a street we need to walk on. Couldn't have done much other than actually change the diaper and order dinner. Yeah, that's true. Because if you like special things on your pizza, I'm telling you, even when we go to Luigi's and we get a Luigi pizza, we order extra cheese on our pizza. And if we get a different kind of pizza, I'm like, I want only half with pepperoni because I can't stomach pepperoni. It's nasty. So I don't want pepperoni on my half. And I only eat 1 or 2 pieces of the pizza anyway. And on my Luigi's, if I see the pepperoni, I'll pull it off and give it to my husband. If I don't see the pepperoni because it's covered up with all the other goodness, I'm okay with it because all the other goodness, because Luigi's pizza is about that thick, okay? There's a lot of delicious goodness. And it's already made with extra cheese. And that's provolone and mozzarella, and it's really good. And then Butch always asks for extra cheese on top of that. So that makes our pizza even bigger. And so, and it takes us a few minutes to order the pizza just to get it the way we want it, you know. Because I can't say, okay, can you take 2 pieces and don't put no pepperoni in there? I can't do that. Because that's all I eat. I don't eat very much. I'm not a big... When I was pregnant with Manda Panda, I wasn't gaining weight, so the doctor made a prescription for me to eat a medium cheese pizza every day for the last month I was pregnant. And I don't even like cheese now. I'm not much of a pizza person. But I don't blame her. It's just the fact I couldn't gain weight. She was helpful. She helped me lose 6 pounds while I was pregnant. So, and she was very easy delivery. Very easy delivery. So, anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go do some research well, actually, I'm not. I've got it pulled up, but I'm going to go down to my RV garage and see if I can walk yet. Because if the mud's dried out enough that I can walk in there, I'm rearranging the shelves and organizing like all the vases and all the figurines and all the toys. And news out of Nashville. Let's see if I can. I'm not getting a. Somebody Garcia or something. I think it's in. Okay. No. Okay. Breaking news. Kilmar Abgaro Garcia has been returned to the United States to face federal criminal charges. Kilmar Abreu Garcia, who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador has been returned to the United States to face human smuggling charges. Okay, so that was breaking news. The federal judge and the Supreme Court have ordered his return, but the administration has restricted accusing him of being a member of the MS-13 gang to justify his deportation. Yeah, they brought him back to they brought him back to face charges. Now, what did they do with the guy from over there who unalived the college girl? Did they deport him? I never heard. I think he got life in prison, but was it here or was it over there? I don't know. Yeah, brought him back to put him in jail with our tax dollars. But then again, over there, he may possibly have been Amanda Panda, do you know where Cove, Arkansas is? There's a tornado. Can't see it. Tornado doing damage in Cove, Arkansas. Somehow I got the light turned on my ring camera, and I can't figure out how to turn it off. Pushing the button don't do it. And then I saw something on my cousin's page. Oh, tomorrow night, an arid meteor shower is going to be tomorrow night, June 7th. This is my cousin Vicky, and this is behind her sister's house. I think her sister lives in Susanville. I'm not sure. So please pray for my family out in California that this doesn't get to them. Okay, somebody says Cowboy 911 is here. How's that fire looking? And it says, somebody named William says, I live close to where it's at. They got it contained. When the wind dies down, the helicopter and 2 planes hit it hard. Okay. And there's a picture of after the fire stopped burning. So oh, that's not far from you, is it? Just across the river. It's just outside of Van Buren. That's not across. That's where your niece Courtney lives, in that area. We need to pray for them too. It was a bad tornado. My sister, Amanda Panda's niece, cousin, aunt, Amanda Panda's aunt. Sorry, I got to figure it all out. Lives not far from there. It was bad, according to Amanda Panda. She checked on it. She's good about checking on stuff like that. All right, with that being said, I'm going to end it tonight. I've got to go look in my RV garage and rearrange and get things so I can find out what's listed, what's not listed. Oh, it blew roofs off down there. Ooh. I'm going to message my sister and ask if they've made it through the tornadoes are okay and everything. I'm sure if they hadn't, my sister would have called because my family's, this part of it's close like that. If something happens, either I get blamed for it till I get called, or somebody needs help and I get called. Either way, I know somebody's alive. I know everybody's alive, except one. I never know whether one of my daughters is alive or not. I never know until she contacts another family member and the other family member lets me know. So that's how I find out about my daughter. But anyway, thank y'all for being here. Do something nice for someone, even if it's just be the reason they smile, and get Locker. See you tomorrow.